So today, guys, I'm going to bring you the broken 4-2-4 that scores over 4 goals a game and performs with any team in the game. It's an absolute masterpiece, and if you guys do enjoy the content on this channel, please do leave a like, drop a little subscription. It makes all the difference. But let's go ahead and see how good this tactic is. So, guys, first up, we are going to get the powerhouses out of the way. That is going to be PSG over in France, where we had a very good season, nearly going invincible. Unfortunately, one loss come in against Montpellier in a 1-0 defeat, but overall still a fantastic season. It's going to be Kolo Muani coming in with 44 goals, obviously the new man for PSG. Kylian Mbappe coming in with 37 assists, and Donnarumma 96% on the pass completion. We scored 145 league goals as a team and conceded just 18, so also very defensively solid as well, which we do love to see. In terms of the competitions, it's going to be a quadruple winning season. The Champions League against Arsenal, the French League against everybody, the French Cup against Marseille, and the Trophée de Champion against Toulouse. So do you know what? A very good season, incredible stuff. Obviously, I know it's a powerhouse, but this is the max set of results you can expect from this amazing broken 4-2-4. And looking at some of the team stats, they're going to be the ones you expect. So it's not the most possession-based tactic, I'm going to be honest. You're not going to have ridiculous levels of that possession, but you are going to see most shots for 681, fewer shots against 172, the most dribbles being made at 690, fewest conceded at 18, and also the most clean sheets coming in at 20. So it really does perform in every aspect of the game. And in terms of the possession, it's not horrific. It is 57%, not the best in the league, but still quite decent. But this is what I want to showcase for you guys, the data hub. 4.26 goals a game, conceded at only 0.53, over 20 shots a game, and a pass completion of 89.5%. So this really does deliver in all elements of the game. It can pass well, loads of goals per game as well, but also it does defend very, very strongly as well. So in terms of a tactic, you can't really get much better. We'll look at some of the goal scorers as well. It is going to be Kolo Muani with 44, Soler coming in with 42, and you are going to understand why when you see the tactic. 38 from Mbappe, 21 from Dembele, Asensio coming in with 14, Hakimi also coming in with 12. So that's going to be 6 players with over 12 goals, and obviously 3 real standout players there. And the assists, gonna look exactly the same story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players coming in with 10 and above assists. Obviously, standout being Mbappe. Obviously, you're gonna see that a lot more understandably why he's getting that amount as well. When you see the tactic, Hakimi, again, you're gonna understand why. 22 from him, Soler with 16, 14 from Muani. We are seeing a fantastic outlet in terms of the assists and the goal scorers. Up next is going to be Weymouth. Now, this team are predicted to finish 18th over in the Vanarama National League South, so this is literally the opposite of PSG. So just to showcase what you can expect brilliance, as we actually won the league quite convincingly as well with 109 points. We also got some decent stats, 105 goals scored. We were never going to get the best conceded because we are predicted to finish in 18th place, but we did finish second best, which we've got to take. Also, it is going to be Lambert with 31 goals, Hemmings coming in with the highest rating and 21 assists, and Charlie Rowan coming in with 93% of the pass completion. Not the best display in the cups, but considering predicted to finish 18th, winning the Vanarama, let's take it. And going over to the data hub, one thing I'm really impressed with is going to be that conceded per game. Still under a goal a game, which is remarkable for a team like this. Getting on for 15 shots a game, a pass completion of 88%, and on this occasion, just over the 2-goal mark. But this is really with a bottom pile team. This easily can get towards that 4-goaler mark. Definitely high threes as well. But with the real rock bottom teams, now this is for a very minority of people that do play with these teams, you still can get some really good stat lines. Up next is going to be Basel, obviously predicted to finish, I believe, 4th place or 3rd place. We have come out and won it quite comfortably with 92 points, winning 29, drawing 5, losing 4, but still very, very comfortable in the league. In terms of the goal scorer, it's going to be Guato coming in with 40 goals and also picking up the most assists. So quite the hard carry in the team, but we're not going to complain there. It's going to be Hits coming in with a 95% pass completion. And in terms of the team stats, 107 league goals scored and just 31 goals conceded. If that's not enough for you guys as well, we also win the Swiss Cup against Verdon. I don't know how to say that exactly. I don't want to butcher any names, but that is exactly what we done. And you know what? As seasons go, it nearly was perfect, but unfortunately Ajax were a little bit too much for us to get past, but still a great season. And looking at those team stats, we are going to feature in a lot of the similar ones. So most goals, obviously, most shots, fewest shots against, best pass completion at 89%, possession 59% of the ball, and also the most dribbles and the fewest conceded. So although I'm not going to label this as a tiki-taka tactic, you still can get decent levels of the ball. Obviously 59% isn't too bad, getting on towards that 60 mark for sure. So overall, it really does do a bit of everything. The data hub is going to look absolutely incredible. We scored 2 more goals than we are conceding. Exactly. Never seen that before. Obviously 0.82 conceded, 2.82 scored. We also just had just under 15 shots a game, coming in at 14.89 and a pass completion of 89.13. So essentially, we're defending well, we're scoring goals, pass completions there, decent possession. There's not much to love. Not much not to love, sorry, not much to love. Absolutely incredible stuff. And lastly, for all of the Turkish viewers on the channel, I had to get one in. That is going to be Fenerbahce, where we enjoyed a very, very good season. We only lost 1 game as well, picking up a all-time high 103 league points, winning 33 games, drawing 4, and also the 1 loss coming in against Galatasaray, one of the better teams in the division. So do you know what? Nearly went invincible, a flawless season almost. Such a good season there. Edin Dzeko coming in with 48 goals at the age of what? 37, I believe. Absolutely incredible. Great assists here, great match racing. This guy here, we know how good he is. 96% on pass completion, 126 league goals scored, only 24 conceded, and it's going to be a quadruple. We're going to win the Conference League against Atalanta, we're going to win the Super League, the Cup, and also the Super Cup against Galatasaray. So that defeat we got against Galatasaray made up for it just by winning the quadruple. You know, the usual. And the team stats are going to almost be a dead replica. We're going to see the top 2 dominated by us, these 2 here dominated by us. Pass completion, we are going to feature, coming in at around about 89%, and the possession, 60%, so quite an average stat line you can expect now, is around 59% of the ball, a pass completion of 89%, definitely dominating the dribbles made, and also you could also expect a very good defensive display. We've not really had one test where the defense has not been a talking point, so very, very good, I must admit. Going over to the data hub, we are going to look at 3.32 goals a game, and conceded at 0.63. Some of the best stats we've had, just a little bit worse than the PSG stats. Getting on for 20 shots a game, and a pass completion, as we saw earlier, 89.53. So if you want to round upwards, you could argue 90%, but we'll go professional, exactly what it says, 89.53. 4 tests done, 4 massive sets of results. Clearly works for any team. It really does. And we're going to watch a high-scoring game here, a 7-0 win in the league, which we do love to see here with this fantastic Fenerbahce side. And this is going to be purely in the video for you guys to see where the goals come from, and you can get a rough understanding of how the goals are going to get created, where to prioritise the chances, and what you need in your team. Now, being honest, we linked up the play so well up front, I can't say to you guys you need a certain standard of player, because we're getting goals with Dzeko, we're getting goals with Mbappe, we're getting goals with the lads from, I forgot the team now, that sums up my memory, the team in the Vanarama. So do you know what? You really are going to get goals with whatever players you've got, and you're seeing the sheer variety of what we've got. They're coming from set pieces, they're coming from long shots, they're coming from getting the ball into the box, from the right, from the left. Honestly, in terms of tactics that I've tested this year, this is by far one of the most sort of versatile. It can do anything in the game, and we are seeing a tactic that is dominating across all leagues. And we're going to see it with PSG in an 8-1 win in the league, which is absolutely incredible. And we actually got off to a very rocky start here, but this just sums up how good this tactic is, coming back with absolute ease with a penalty inside of what, the first half. We love to see that. And that is going to mean 7 goals are going to come in from the 57th minute onwards. So it was a big collapse from this team right now, and the first goal is going to be a bit of solo brilliance from Hakimi. Obviously, I know not every team has an Hakimi, but as long as you've got a right back that can deliver in terms of pace, good passing, you're going to get similar results. And the goals we were scoring were absolutely incredible. All sorts of angles, all sorts of chances we were creating, and obviously you can see here, a bit more of a direct approach. Lee completely at the back stick, no one marking him. Shocking defender from this team, I have got to say that. And again, even from a throw-in, they clear it out, win the ball back. Hakimi again, who I will say plays a very important role. I will say that now just so it's out there in the video. Your right back is going to play a massive part in this team, so I would heavily invest in getting one that is obviously of good standard, because he links up the play very well, and also he's not going to be afraid to shoot as well. As Kono Mali plays the ball out wide into Basola, he's going to cut it back, I would imagine, into Soler, into the top left corner. Absolutely incredible. And at this point in the game, they may as well have gone home, as Kimpembe has a bit of a hit and hope, and it goes in as well. So at this point, everyone's on the goal sheet. As Soler goes through one more time, chips the keeper. At this point, just call it a day. Absolute dominance. It is against Toulouse, I will say, but do you know what? The stats talk for themselves. But guys, it's now going to be time to break down the tactic, but I want to say it's now the perfect time as well to leave a like on the video. It helps out massively getting the channel discovered, and also please do subscribe. It's completely free, and we are going to have content throughout the entire year. Also, we have got a second channel just opened, which is going to specialise in mobile and console tactics. The first console tactic got posted yesterday, so definitely go over and subscribe to that. It would mean the absolute world. But let's go ahead and crack down into this tactic. So it was actually sent in from a viewer, so Irish FM, absolute quality creator. We love to see that. You can obviously check him out in the description as well. And this is very unique to me because when you look at it, it looks like a 4-2-3-1, but anyone with a footballing eye can see why it's technically a 4-2-4. So when the shadow striker gets the ball, which was going to be Soler in this case, he actually plays all the game in this position here. So in the game, it's actually going to be a 4-2-4. So before I see the comments, I know it looks like a 4-2-3-1, but as you can easily see now, it actually is going to be a 4-2-4 in the game. The sweeper keeper is going to be on support, simply on the default. The wingback is going to be on attack, hence why I said you really need to make sure you've got a decent right back in this system. For some reason, you've got a quality left back, not a good right back. You could swap them, but obviously that would mean swapping these players as well. So you can sort of just completely do one of them if you need to do so. But honestly, if you can, keep it as it is. He's going to be on cross more often, cross aim centre, and tackle harder. We have two ball-playing defenders who are simply going to be on the default instructions, and our wing-back is going to come in on defend on the left, on dribble less, sit narrower, and tackle harder. So on the left-hand side, the wing-back doesn't have as much of an influence compared to the right-hand side, but again, you can obviously flip those around if you need to do so. Going over to the two in midfield, we're going to have the anchor on defend, on tackle harder, a crucial role in the team. A register comes in on support, on tackle harder, and that is going to complete your sort of your back six, if you want to say, almost. I want to quickly thank all the names coming down the screen right now. These are going to be new or existing Patreon members. We currently have 530 of you guys signed up to the Patreon. There are over 8 perks for being a Patreon member, and you're going to get some cool stuff, including early video access to all 3 of these wonderful files. You're going to get priority on your requests. You're going to get one-on-one tactical help. I tweak your tactics. Everything. Loads of stuff going on. Also a monthly giveaway. So I would check it out. The link is going to be on the description. And also you can see it on the screen. But going over to this sort of front four we've got going on the right-hand side, an inside forward comes in on attack, on shoot more often, and also tackle harder. The main role in the team, the shadow striker, is going to also be on attack, on more direct passes, and tackle harder. And the left-hand side is going to be a wing-back on attack, on cross-aim centre, and tackle harder. And to finish it off is going to be a poacher, not a role I usually use in this game, but it works so well, on pass it shorter and shoot more often. And that is going to complete your player roles for this tactic. Of course, we are now going to go over the team instructions, and we have reset them so we can talk through and actually explain what's going on. This is all based off a gegenpress positive mentality, just to clarify that. And we are going to opt to have pass into space on. We're going to focus the play down the right while playing out from the back. Now, this is on because obviously Hakimi plays such a crucial role in the team. So we are going to prioritise playing down the right-hand side. If you switch the roles about, so your left back is the attacking one, I would have it focused down the left. But ideally, you can play exactly the same as what we have done. Now, in terms of this, we're going to have it on shorter directness, and the tempo is going to be set out to the max. So a few of my tactics this year haven't been like this. This is going to require a lot of intensity on your players, so you need to have rotation, training, and rest. Them 3 principles, you're going to be fine, but you need to have them in place in your team. And the last instruction is going to be, or the last 2 instructions, is going to be low crosses and run at defence. It's a very counter-attacking style tactic, hence why I said it's quite surprising to even have 59% of the ball across all of the testing, because this is by far not a tiki-taka tactic. Next up, in transition, and it's going to be very meta-based, so it's going to be counter-press, it's going to be counter, we're going to get the ball moving very, very quickly, and we're going to play to anyone across that back line while taking short goal kicks. So you think a meta, this is what you want. And now lastly, for the default tactic, but do stick around for the other 2 variants because you're not forced to become a Patreon. I do share them in a video as well. But the changes coming in here is actually going to be the high press line of engagement and no standard line. We are going to rock out the higher defensive line with a much more often on the trigger press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, we're going to get stuck in, and also we're going to step up the line. Now, I do want to say, I personally never had an issue with this, even testing with a team that were 18th predicted. I mean, that should have conceded a lot to goals. We genuinely didn't, because we are quite good at outscoring anyway. But if you are conceding way too many goals, the two things I would firstly change is to drop this line and take this off here. But to be honest, we tested with 4 very different teams, all different qualities, and we cooked. I'll show you a game against the top team, the Champions League final against Arsenal, which we do win 2-1 as a great ball gets played in there from, you guessed it, Hakimi, a great header there to take the advantage inside of 26 minutes, and we actually go 2-0 up from a penalty from Kylian Mbappe there. Arsenal did get this 1 goal back inside of the 80th minute, but they never really were too much danger, to be honest, apart from this goal. A good finish, but we win. Now the French Cup final against Marseille, a very comfortable 3-0 win, to be honest with you, although a lot of the goals did come, all of the goals come in the second half, exactly around the 60th minute, and the second goal coming in the 84th minute, so they didn't play too badly against us, to be fair. You can see the shadow striker playing a big part in this goal, playing through the poacher Mbappe, who goes alone into the left-hand corner. Absolutely incredible stuff from the players there. And although, you know, a lot of the goals did get done in the end and moments of the game, if you want to say, in terms of the stats, we definitely deserved it. So do you know what, Marseille? Thanks for turning up, but we're going to take the trophy. Now, of course, we are going to have an attacking variant. Now, this is going to be used if you need to chase a game more than to go into a game with. This is purely designed for if you desperately need a goal to get back into a game, or maybe you're chasing an aggregate game, something like that. This is really the only reason to deploy this tactic. And we're going to get it off right going by going over the goalkeeper, who is going to be exactly the same. Now, the wing-back is going to look a lot more different, and that's because the team instructions and the midfield are a lot more aggressive now, so we had to sacrifice in different areas. Now, these wing-backs are still going to be very attacking, but simply having this side on attack as well would be way too much. You simply would be way too committed and not even have a chance of being somewhat reliable in games. So the wing-back is going to be on support, on cross more often, cross-aim centre, and tackle harder. Both of these are going to remain exactly the same. The wing-back on the left, however, now is also going to get forward, on support, on dribble more, cut inside, and sit narrower. We then opt for the two, it's very overpowered, I'm going to be honest. We have 2 Volantes coming in, simply both on tackle harder. A very good role for actually contributing with goals going forward and linking up play. And having these 2 in the middle not only sort of transformed how that midfield acts, but we did score a lot more goals playing like this. Now, I would, as again, I'm going to stress this in case you missed a part of the video, I wouldn't go into a game like this, but I would download it or copy it in that case, because if you are desperate for a goal, you are going to get one playing like this. On the left-hand side, the winger is going to remain the same, the shadow striker, exactly the same, on the right-hand side, exactly the same, and also the poacher. So again, the real big change and the only changes are going to be the Volantes coming in, and a big change to both wing-backs. Copy that, you're going to be golden. The team instructions, it is going to still be on a positive mentality on the gegenpress. There are going to be a few more changes, so you probably noticed them. We're going to pass the ball into the space. We are also going to couple different things here. We've got to be more expressive on, and obviously in terms of the focus play down the right, this comes down to what you want to do. Now for me, I didn't change it because I still got a lot of good results playing down the right hand side, but if you really want to go out, and I mean all out, you can even focus play down the left as well. Focusing out wide is going to put a lot of pressure on the opposition. It might leave you a little bit vulnerable in them areas, but if you're chasing the game, you need a goal. It's what you have to do. So that's going to be one thing you could possibly tweak yourselves, but I haven't done it because it might be a little bit overkill, but that's completely up to you guys. Transition, things are going to remain exactly the same. Possession, things are also going to remain exactly the same because it's naturally a very attacking tactic anyway, and I feel like having the much higher line alongside of, you know, a very attacking midfield and attacking fullbacks would be way too much. So in my opinion, stick with what you see. Lastly, we're going to have a defensive tactic or a tactic you can use for going in against a real giant of a team. So if you are playing as a bit of an underdog, this can easily be used to go into a game with and just get a feel for how they're exactly going to play. But let's waste no more time. Let's roll into it. A sweeper keeper is going to come in on the default. The wingback is going to be exactly the same as what the attacking one sort of provided, because playing like this is almost going to have a very balanced theme, is what I want to say. So the wingbacks are going to be a mixture of getting forward, but also not only thinking about attacking, if that makes sense. The ball-playing defenders are going to be on the default. The wingback on the left is going to be exactly the same as the attacking one. So on support, on dribble less, sit narrower, and tackle harder. And the midfield, I've gone for a very safe sort of 2. A safe pairing in midfield. The anchor on defend on tackle harder, and the DM coming in on support on tackle harder. So you're going to be a very resilient sort of midfield, sort of, you know, protecting that back four. They're going to cover the back four very nicely, and they can also cover any wing backs that do get further forward. So you're going to be very safe playing like this. Now, this I would recommend going into your games to get a feel. If you feel like you're dominating the game but not scoring, go to the balance one, etc, etc. Hopefully that makes sense. And going to that front four, on the left-hand side, a winger's going to come in on support, on tackle harder. The advanced playmaker comes in on support, on pass it shorter, run from position, and tackle harder. Now, although this is not going to always be like a 4-2-4 necessarily in this one, it is still going to naturally be like that. He will drift in these positions here, but just having him not always be in there is going to be more balanced in the midfield, so that is why he has dropped back a little bit. And on the right-hand side, the inside forward comes in, simply on support, on tackle harder, and the poacher remains unchanged in all three of the variants. And now, the team instructions, it is going to be dropping down to a balanced mentality, still on the gegenpress, standard, pass into space, playing out from the back. We're not going to focus to play in any sort of area now, because essentially we are just going to be a little bit more risk-free, to be honest with you. We've got shorter, a standard tempo, not as aggressive into the game. We're still going to run up the defence though, because that is the entire DNA of the team. We're going to have mixed crosses, low crosses, why have I said mixed? Low crosses, and that is going to give you your in possession. Now, this takes a very different approach to the 4-2-4 than what we saw in the default, and the attacking for sure. This is a much more sort of composed way of playing. You're still going to have that run-up defence, get in their face mentality, but it's just not as aggressive, especially off the ball. In transition, there are going to be a few things which sort of back what I just said there. So we're not going to counter-press as a team. We are still going to counter-attack, though, and we're going to play the ball across to anyone across this back line while taking short goal kicks. Even the out of possession, we've got even more balance now. We're going to have the standard line. We're also going to have the high pressure line of engagement. We're still going to max out the trigger press because we've lowered the tempo. We're not counter pressing. I still want a little bit of fight in the team. We're still going to put some pressure on the goalkeeper, and we are also obviously going to remain getting stuck in because we want to see some fight in the team. And that is going to give you guys 3 variants of this fantastic 4-2-4. Again, shout out to Irish FM for making this, because it really was a masterpiece. When I first saw it, I was a little bit hesitant of the shape, but it worked really, really well in the game, and hopefully you guys share the same opinion on that. If you guys have enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like, drop a little subscription, and more importantly, just enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. And if you guys did enjoy today's video, here are going to be a couple more videos I'm sure you're going to love. Down here, you're going to see my previous video, and here is going to be a video I personally recommend for you guys to check out. Trust me, you're going to love it.